Welcome to 10 TV Plus. Dylan Robichaud alongside Michael Behrens. Michael, we have our work cut out for us here over the next couple of days. We're talking a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, we've been tracking these weather impact days really since like 6-7 days out in the forecast, and now they're finally here. Our first, what could be taste of winter weather.
And I'm going to start doing a kind of a brush over of what you can expect, and then he's going to get into more detail about some black ice potential late this week, because I think that's going to be a big impact for you at home. Let's get a look here at your weather impact for today. And between lunchtime and 4 p.m., we are going to be tracking that weather impact. What do we have on tap for today? We've got your rain, we've got your wind. So umbrella is definitely not a bad idea as we head into the afternoon. And as you head home from work or school, just be sure to take it down a few notches as things might be a little bit wet out there on the roadways. Starting you off here early this afternoon, you can see the rain marching from west to east, all the green on the map. This is mostly a light to moderate rain, but at times we may see a few pockets of some heavier showers. This is a look at 2 p.m. And again, Delaware, Marion, up towards Bucyrus and Mansfield getting in on the action. As we head towards 3 o'clock, though, this moves out. This is a very fast mover. And in fact, the rain won't be the biggest nuisance. I think the wind will be the biggest problem that you face today, along with that change in the wind direction, which as a result is going to drastically cool things down as we head into the afternoon. By 4 o'clock, the rain moves out. We actually catch a few hours where things cool down, and that's like yanking the blankets off, right? That's going to allow the lower atmosphere to get that much colder as we head into tonight. We'll talk more about the snow threat for tomorrow coming up here in just a bit, but I want to talk about the 10 weather impact for tomorrow. We've got your wind, we've got your cold, we've got your snow, we've got your rain. Thursday and Friday morning, we're going to be looking at wind chills upper 20s to around 30 degrees, a light accumulation possible, okay? I really want to hone in on this. This is not your blockbuster snowstorm, at least not this early in the season. We may see a few slick spots with black ice on Friday morning, but don't worry, Michael Behrens will be covering that to its full extent coming up here in just a bit. All right, broad picture, upper level low, bam, there it is, Minneapolis, pulling in that cold air from the north. We've got all this energy that's going to be marching off to the east. The blue on the map is your snow. The pink shading is going to be your sleet and possibly your freezing rain. That low is going to be pushing off down to the south and allowing some of those snow showers to intrude into the viewing area as well. So let's kind of walk you through how this is going to play out. By about 4 o'clock in the morning, this is snow that we're looking at up towards Kenton, not rain. So that's very important to keep in mind. As we head towards 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we're going to be tracking some snow showers out here, and these are going to be hit and miss. So it might be snowing at your house, and then your cousin a mile down the block might not be getting anything. And that's why these accumulations are going to be kind of broken up here throughout the day. By the way, we'll talk more about accumulations in a bit. 11 o'clock in the morning, we take that snow threat, we push it further down to the south, and then as we head towards 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we end up getting these snow flurries here as we head towards the evening. Maybe a second round of snow, possibly late tomorrow night. That will favor our southern counties in the viewing area. The $60,000 question. Mr. Robichaud, how much snowfall can we expect? Great question. Look, not a lot. We're looking at maybe an inch if you are above 1,000 feet in elevation. For the metro area, maybe about a half of an inch, and that's not going to stick to the roads. Roadway temperatures still just too mild for this time of the year, and so the snow is going to melt on contact here. But if you live off to the west, let's say you live in Bell Fountain, well, guess what? They're higher in elevation. They stand a better chance at getting some accumulating snow. Circleville, Chillicothe, down to Jackson could be looking at maybe a little bit more snowfall out there too. Fun fact, what is today? November the 20th. On average, we get our first snowfall here on November the 20th. So we're actually right on the mark. Our average first inch, based on 30-year climatology data, is December the 15th. So that's quite interesting. All right, let's talk about the other story, some of the winds. And today, notice that we'll be looking at some stronger gusts as that cold front rolls on through the area. We'll be looking at some very cold air coming in as that wind rolls on through. By Thursday, we'll be looking at winds between 20 to 25, possibly gusting up to 30. I will say this, though, some new model data that we just looked at within the last hour has kind of brought the wind down a notch for tomorrow. Before, we were looking at model data that was saying, oh man, 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Now it looks a little bit lower, maybe down to 30, so that would be good for the day on Thursday, and then things improve. Why are we so cold? It all has to do with your jet stream. Take a look at this, the upper level jet stream. Your jet stream, by the way, is a ribbon of narrow air up high around 30,000 feet. Take a look at that trough here. It is pushing far down to the deep south. Look at this right here, though, okay? This is what's going to cause those changes that I've been talking about Thursday and Friday. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s, wind chills below freezing, okay? And as that cold air settles in Thursday night, black ice will be possible as we head into early Friday morning. Here's a look at the temperature trend. The coldest day, Thursday. Friday, not far behind. And if you are heading off to the Buckeye game, dress warm on Saturday because it is going to be downright chilly for that football game. Thursday at lunchtime, look at this. This is going to feel more like a late December, early January day opposed to a November day. So just get ready for the chill in the air as we head into the later half of the week. We'll be below normal for a few days, and then eventually we start kind of climbing up above average. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be the coldest days, especially Thursday. Then eventually by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we get some gradual improvements showing up here in the forecast. Long term, what can you expect? Well, we have good chance of rain today, good chance tomorrow, Friday morning. Sunday looks like the one and only completely dry day over the next week. So if you're looking for some dry weather, maybe doing some yard work, putting up those outdoor Christmas decorations, I think Sunday right now, probably the best day. What about long term? Well, this 8 to 14 day outlook will take us into the start of December. We're looking at near normal temperatures here across the Buckeye State, but the pattern does favor abnormally wet conditions as we head out towards the next 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how all that kind of plays on out. All right, weather impact today, weather impact tomorrow, less than an inch of precipitation expected. And then on Friday morning, again, we have that 10 weather impact because we will have the ice out there expected. Going into Saturday, temperatures are going to be gradually warming up, if you want to call it that. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll be back into the middle end of the 50s. It is going to be chilly this weekend, Michael, if folks are heading off to any of the Buckeye games. But of course, our big concern this week will be black ice going into Thursday night, possibly going into Friday morning.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting our first taste of winter impacts here, and it's always a bad one when it comes to people remembering how to drive in those winter conditions, what type of road surfaces are slick first, and just kind of how to handle that kind of transition into the season.
And I think one of the biggest concerns now is that, yeah, tomorrow we're above freezing, but we're getting rain, we're getting snow. That's going to melt that residual moisture you're telling us will freeze on Friday morning.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely one of the concerns toward Friday morning. And you said it yourself just now, we're going to be above freezing when it comes to those temperatures. So, why are we talking about this wintry weather? If you watched the 10 Weather Impact Show earlier this week, we kind of showed you this graphic here that shows how the different temperatures throughout the layers of the atmosphere impact the moisture that we see across central Ohio. And typically what you would want to see is really just an entirely cold column of air to get the snow. We're not really going to see that. We're not going to see any of these other scenarios either. So we're not expecting freezing rain or sleet. But what we do see is a very deep cold layer of air just above the surface. That means we have a really shallow area of warm air right down near surface level. We get some of that rain snow mixing together, and we get just the fact that that layer of warm air is so thin, a plenty amount of snowflakes that make its way down from the clouds all the way down toward us here at surface level, and something we called, again, evaporative cooling, where those snowflakes start to evaporate, cooling a little bit, just like the same way sweat cools your skin in the summer. That cooler effect helps to protect some of those snowflakes making their way down toward ground level. While we're not expecting accumulation in any kind of meaningful fashion, especially on most of the roadways, what we do need to watch are those bridges and overpasses, because those could still be susceptible to some more slick conditions. Of course, what happens normally, road surfaces, any surfaces, give off their heat toward the atmosphere as things cool off and temperatures get colder. But the effect that we see with the bridges and overpasses is the wind kind of gets underneath those as well. So one, we've got a thinner layer of material here, and two, we're losing heat from multiple directions, radiating up into the sky and being blown away by the wind. That lets those bridge surfaces reduce reduce their temperatures more rapidly than the other surrounding road surfaces. And even though we could see areas where, well, most of central Ohio, we're not going to get a lot of sticking on the roads. Some of those bridges and overpasses could see that accumulation arrive quicker and become more impactful as we head deeper into the week. The other thing we're watching is black ice. Of course, black ice, not really black ice. It's a very thin layer of clear ice. And what happens with that is you just don't see it. It looks like a normal area of road. It looks like things are going fine, but then you come across it and you lose that traction, you lose control. As we head into Friday, this is not going to be just a problem for those bridges and overpasses. By Friday morning, we could be seeing several spots that do drop below freezing in general. And while for the most part, the road surfaces are going to be too warm, this is going to enhance that risk on those elevated road surfaces for that freezing, for that black ice, and for traction issues out there as we head into your Friday. The other thing we're watching as temperatures fall and the winds pick up, you got to remember the wind chill out there. Of course, your body normally loses heat, same like those road surfaces radiating out into the colder air around you. Typically, if it's not a lot of wind, it's not so bad. You kind of create a pocket of warm air around you, protecting yourself, and that air temperature is the same as the feels like temperature in these conditions. When you add the wind to it, that same effect that we were talking about with bridges and overpasses happens to your body. The wind pulls that heat away, you lose that sort of warm pocket of protection, and you see things feel much colder than they actually are. So your body could be feeling, again, several degrees colder than the actual air temperature. It may feel like closer to 4 in this scenario with the winds of about 20 miles per hour and the air temperature, or the winds about 20 miles per hour and the air temperature about 20 degrees could make it feel like 4. So again, we got a lot of things we're tracking as we head toward the end of the week, Dylan. And really just, again, that first blast of wintry weather impacting us here across central Ohio.
'Tis the season. Thanksgiving, about a week out from today? So
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yep.
So it's go time. Yep. So make sure to tune in to 10 TV News starting at 4, 5, and 6. Jerry Martz will have the latest on the winter weather impacts for the rest of the week.